Alright, so hello, I am Ryan Manalac, and I am a third year computer science and engineering major. So the first thing I want to address is why do I want to run for executive chair? The quick cheesy answer is my genuine love for the club. Because I've been here in this club for 3 consecutive years, and definitely my freshman year was made easier because of PAA. The executive chair made themselves open to me, and they were able to answer all my questions and all that stuff during hangout day, and that's kind of what I want to be. So if I do get elected, I want to cover service, which is one aspect I feel we are lacking as a club, and the cultural aspect of the club. Now before I get into that, the qualifications I have are, I came from a solely project-based school, so pretty much throughout those 4 years I've been working in groups. I've had to be the leader, I've had to be the support role in there, so I know what to do when it comes to working in groups. Because of that, my organizational skills and communication has been developed, so I feel I can effectively communicate what I have to say when I need to. And working for IT, it definitely helped me get more organized and helped me stay on top of my stuff. So, touching the service aspect, I actually put in 200 plus hours of community service prior to coming here to Merced. So the process I want to do in terms of finding opportunities is just look online, call City Hall, and pretty much just get a list of stuff we can do as a club. And as for the cultural aspect, last year I heard about this past thing called Filipino time that was instilled in the PR position. So I wanted to hopefully have some sort of segment like that within each person's part in the agenda. May it be like a random fact or your Filipino phrase of the day, something cool like that. And
Alright, so you've sat in the room with me, sparking up a storm, talking about what needs to be done and what the cabinet is heading into and whatnot. So I'm going to let you give your honest opinion and what's something that you do differently in a room in that situation given this cabinet. And feel free to express whatever contextual support points you need to
Alright, so one thing I kind of noticed working in CAB this year is when it came to deadlines in the individual positions, they kind of weren't really being held like solely. So one thing I do differently is if the position officer sets a deadline, I want to hold them to it. I want to do progress checks every time there's a different date. I want to see what's left to be done, what I can help with, and then like find out if there's any other resources they can really utilize.
Cool. On to our general members. Any questions?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to ask the same question I asked Renanti. So if a general member or a person basically was going to build up your cabinet or the members of the club, how would you go about it to resolve it?
Okay, so if someone that I'm going to assume is going to be anonymous throughout the whole time.
Yeah.
So I first talk to my CAB about it if it is directed towards CAB, see what kind of stuff they are saying, and see what we can do to address that if it is actually necessary. But if it's just straight trash talk or something like that, I know it's going to be my job to kind of be the motivator and keep everyone's heads up. So, yeah.
I know you mentioned a couple of things as far as bringing like culture back to the club. What are some a little bit further reaching or kind of things, not so little that you have in mind?
So I know my sophomore year here, the academic chairs actually brought in a guest lecturer to talk about the history of the culture and stuff. So I want to reach out to more people like that, have more speakers come to us and talk about our culture, teach us more stuff that we don't know. Prior to, like, for cultural dance, prior to finalizing the dances. I kind of want to have them tell me what the dance is about, what it means in terms of our culture and all that stuff. And yeah, just pretty much reach out to all the other resources we have outside of campus.
Okay, so as executive chair, you work along with vice exec to network with other Filipino organizations off campus as well as organizations on campus. How do you plan to foster those relationships so that we have a good, strong bond between not only on campus but off?
Oh, so definitely try and attend as many of their events as I can as possible, and definitely try and keep in touch with those that are responsible for organizing those events, so they know who we are and that we exist and all that stuff.
So it's evident that PA is one of the largest clubs on campus. However, I have noticed there's a trend throughout my 3 years of being in the club that as the year progresses, the amount of members or the amount of attendance begins to slowly dissipate, slowly. Starting from the beginning of the year, full, great, the club is very healthy, it's full. But as the year goes by, I notice that less and less people show up to meetings. How do you hope to address that situation?
So one of the ideas I had is to, whenever we create an event or plan to host an event, kind of see who we're trying to reach out to, like say if it's the upperclassmen or the underclassmen, because I feel this year we lost a lot of the upperclassmen towards the end. So I feel like we need to do more that caters towards everyone as opposed to just say the underclassmen. And just hopefully come up with more opportunities for them to get involved. So it's not just like one big event and then a break and then another big event. Just make sure everyone has something to do like all the time.
Okay. Building off of what Kay had said again, I'd like to drill you on the same question that we posed Ray. So you said you'll motivate CAB to deal with the outside forces. So what are your plans or what ideas do you have on strengthening your internal strength within the CAB, within the club, to counter the external negativities that come?
Okay, so if it ever got to that, I would honestly just say that you're in the position and they're not. So sure, you can take it as constructive criticism, but don't really take it to heart because you're the one that actually stepped up to the position, instilled whatever you had to do, and all that stuff. But I wouldn't like go as far as finding out who that person is and calling them.
No, of course not. But like I'm just saying, like how would you build the internal strength of the club to make the external outside anonymous people to see the light that the club is actually truly a great place to be in.
All right, so in terms of that, I'm just gonna be straight up and tell them just be as positive as you can. Like, even though you have all this stuff coming down on you, you gotta make sure you keep your head up. And then if the general members see that you are performing, then obviously those rumors aren't gonna be held.
Yeah, what does it matter that the outsiders are saying and the club is strong united?
Alright, so before I let you go, I do want to ask this one question because I do want to get it on tape. So I think on Facebook you've outlined how you lead, but I think and maybe a few other people want to know why you lead.
Why I lead? Well, I lead. Well, I don't really see myself as like the real leader since we all have a big part in the overall picture, but I'll be there when, let's say, people have questions. So in that aspect, I'll lead them to like guide them. And
Cool. Alright, thank you, Ryan.